Episode 9, Wayward Souls at the Double Tap In.
Flying right along.
That's right. That's right. Before we get started, I just want to say again, thank you. We ended last podcast with this, but I want to start this one off in case you don't make it to the end with kind of the same thing. Thank you guys for tuning in, for listening, for giving us some great feedback, except for Noah. Some of your ideas are shit, but that's a whole other show.
You're horrible.
We still love you, Noah, a little bit. Maybe not. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for the ideas, the content suggestions, listening to the show, and reaching out to us. My phone's been, I don't want to say it's blown up, but it's definitely been busier since the show started.
Yeah, 100%.
So thank you guys. We truly appreciate it. And we hope you make it to episode 9. So today we're going to talk about the different kinds of smokers. And maybe if you're looking to get into it, which route you want to go to. If you're into it and you want to expand, where you want to go. Or if you're just like, we'll do something different than what I'm already doing, what avenue to go down, and kind of the pros and cons to all of those. I'm going to preface all of that by saying we went through before the show started. Mike was going over the different smokers that he had listed and asked me if I knew of anything else. I was like, I didn't know there was that many. So it's going to be a great show.
Yeah, we're going to hurt the 30 minutes today, I think.
Yeah. But we're going to try and get this aired as it coming up on Father's Day. So that way, if dads, if you're looking for something, hopefully this gives you a little direction where to go. Moms, if you're looking for something for dad, first off, moms, you're doing a great job. You're killing it. Keep doing what you're doing. No, it's hard. No, dads are hard. Probably a lot of single moms of multiple kids, including the husband. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
And by the way, shout out to Mother Hen, because this is her idea.
Her idea.
It gets back to the feedback that we're getting from our listeners helping us guide this podcast, which we absolutely love. So, Liz, thank you very much, dear. We appreciate it.
Thank you. So with that being said, I don't where do we even start?
So I think I'm going to start with the very basics.
Sounds good.
Smokers. And that would be your charcoal, standard kettle style. You have a little basin in the bottom. You pull it out. You put charcoal in it. You slide it back in. I had 2 of those starting out, and not really a fan. They require a lot of attention, even more so than a stick burner, because you have to shake the pan. You have to do all kinds of stuff to knock the ash off to keep the heat. Very hard to regulate. But there are basically 3 styles of charcoal. You have a non-gravity fed, a gravity fed, and then you have the egg style or Komodo style. And I love the egg style. Love the gravity fed style. Do not like the non-gravity fed, simply because they require so much maintenance. They have a hopper on the side. You fill it full of charcoal. It's got a timer, much like a pellet. And you set that to whatever temperature it is. It does its little magic with its little controller. It spits charcoal out at a rate that will maintain your temperature. The egg, I'm pretty sure everybody knows what that is. You regulate your draft door at the bottom, regulate your draft door at the top, or your exhaust at the top, and you can run a 12, 14, 16-hour smoke on a basket of charcoal, and they produce really good barbecue. The downside to the egg, big money.
Stupid expensive.
Big money. So I'm going to mention Marketplace several times because I'm a Marketplace whore. Check Marketplace. Check Marketplace for your smokers. And the other type of smoker that people tend to get rid of all the time is a charcoal fed. It's called Char Griller Professional, and they're charcoal fed. They have a firebox on. They're actually a charcoal offset. Now, an offset, you have a firebox on one end, smokestack on the other. The heat comes from here, it goes through and goes out the smokestack. They are cheap as fuck. I'm talking $50-$60 on Marketplace. They are just okay. If you want to start with that, that's great. It's not going to last you very long. It's going to rust out. It's going to have all kinds of issues, and save your money. And I'll get into something here in a few minutes that will make you really happy. There are also electric smokers. Typically, they're in the shape of a kettle. And I'm going to give a shout out right now to Sean Sarver. He was one of my partners at Berlin PD. And when I was smoking on the charcoal kettle, he and I one night were discussing smoking meats. And he says, "Man, you're really getting into this." And I said, "Yep." He goes, "I have an electric kettle that I'm going to give you." And I said, "Cool, that's my kind of smoker, free."
Mm-hmm.
So I get it, and that smoker changed my trajectory. I kept it for 10 years and literally burn it the fuck up. I wore it out. It was freaking fantastic, produced a lot of good Q out of it, and very easy to maintain. It looks like, if you remember the frying pans that's got the little controller you plug into it. I can't think of the technical name for it right now, but you set the temperature. It's the same thing. It's a heating element in the bottom with a little thermostat control on the side. You set it for whatever you want to, and it burns chunks. You lift up. What I did was I loosened the heating coil in the bottom. I raised it up. I put my wood chips or blocks under it and let the coil rest on top and burn the blocks as it went, producing the smoke. Very easy, very economical, produced decent barbecue. I recommend those for folks who don't want to be labor intensive. And I'll get into another style that is even better than that. There's propane.
Well, hang on a sec. I'm sorry. The one thing I was so there's two that I've kind of had a little bit of experience with. So obviously the pellet grill that I'm running now.
Yes.
And then my father and my brother both have an electric upright, like square jobber.
Yeah, cabinet style.
Yeah. And seem very nice that you don't, like, you're not going to be able to fit a brisket in there because you don't have the width. Right. Correct. With these, if you wanted to put, like, we've done a turkey on it, take all the grates out, put it kind of lower in the stack, and we were able to fit a turkey in. Pork butt would be fine, chickens, but you're not going to cook a brisket in there. You're not going to smoke a brisket,
especially after watching our brisket episode where you want a big packer brisket. They're not going to fit. Same with the kettle, electric kettle, they're not going to fit.
Yeah. With this electric heating element across the bottom, a little pan that you would slide in, where you'd put a little bit of water or beer, and you'd put some chips in there.
Right.
And then on the side, you would have this thing that you could slide in and take out, so you wouldn't have to open the door to drop your wood chips in. And you get like the little bags at the store that you see of the various types. And it was convenient to the point where you could set your temperature. It was all self-contained, where if it was a cold day, you could wrap it with a sleeping blanket or a sleeping bag to insulate it, keep it warm. But you had to keep coming back to check on those chips, the wood chips in the little pan, and it just seemed like I kind of know how long it takes on my grill to cook something. Those kind of always seemed inconsistent.
100%.
And then it never seemed to be very even. So the heat would stack up at the top, kind of work its way back down. So if you
Yep.
had multiple racks in there, it seemed like the stuff on the top, like you'd have to rotate it basically. And if you couldn't, like that turkey, because it was so tall sitting in there, the top of it got a little bit more crispy than the rest of it.
Yep.
And it didn't
That's
like it
the
didn't have
cabinet.
that exhaust. Yeah.
I did
So-
not. I had a cabinet style. I don't think the heat flows like it
Yeah.
does with our more round. The thermal dynamics aren't the same. Like you said, the heat rises, and then, God forbid, you open the friggin' door. You open the friggin' door, gone. And I mean, it takes a long time for a cabinet smoker to build back up.
Yeah.
And it's just very inefficient. I had a propane cabinet for about 2 months, and I couldn't stand the son of a bitch. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand the propane. I couldn't. And here we're going to get into propane real quick. Propane produces an off taste to me. When you burn propane, the products of combustion are different than wood. The biggest component to the gas is moisture when it burns off.
Mhm.
And to me, it has a taste. And I can tell you that every commercial smoker in our county is propane driven. And when you were smoking with, and I ran one when I assisted a local restaurant trying to get up and going with their barbecue business. An entire smoke, 8 pieces of wood. That's it. I run 8
That's
pieces
not-
of wood an hour with mine.
Right.
That is not smoking. I don't think you're not imparting that
Yeah.
flavor on 8 pieces of wood. Again, getting back to the propane cabinet. Again, water bowl in the bottom. You put a liquid in, you put your chips in, and that's what it's smoked with. Not ideal. God forbid there's a puff of wind with that propane smoker,
Mm-hmm.
because it is going to go out, and you're constantly going to have to check it. As far as convenience, it just sucks. So if I were you, I'd scratch propane right off my list. It is too time consuming. It's too much worry. You're halfway through a cook and you run out of fucking propane. Jesus Christ, here we go. You know, then you're losing that edge as you're coming up to the stall, because that always seems to be when it's going to happen, is right before the stall, and then it falls and you got to do all that shit.
Yeah.
So barrel smokers, 55-gallon drum smokers, I'm not going to say that they're new, but they're really catching on. They're more of a hot and fast style. I built one, smoker number 19 for me. I built a barrel, 55-gallon drum, built a barrel. I like it. I like it a lot. It is, if it's just Jennifer and I love cooking on it. I nicknamed it the USS Tetanus because the outside looks like a freaking burn barrel. There's no paint. There's no glamour. There's none of that shit. It looks fucking rough, and I love it. The flavor. I run a charcoal basket. I'm using Royal Oak charcoal. If you guys are listening, you want to kick us a sponsorship, I'm all about it.
We'll take it.
I'm running Royal Oak, and it is without a doubt. It's not wood, so the flavor profile is different from a wood, but man, it's good. I mean, it is good. It tastes like it's coming off you're cooking a steak over charcoal, like on my egg. You know, it is. Damn, it's good. So that is a consideration. It is not as high maintenance as the original kettle charcoal that I'm talking about, because your air regulation system in a barrel is completely different. You can just give it just enough that you can run 225, 250 if you want to, or you can run that 300 and be done in 5-6 hours.
Right.
And again, that's if you decide to go with a barrel and you buy it commercially, you're going to spend $1,000 on a barrel smoker. I built mine for under $200. I found a barrel from a local business. They gave me the barrel from Ugly Barrels. As fitting as that is, I bought the parts and I put it together in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Knew what I had to get.
Our friend Tom over at Babadook Brewing,
Yeah.
he just got into the smoke. So he's been brewing beer for a while.
By the way, his double IPA looked really fucking good on his post.
I'm telling you,
Instagram.
I'm a
when I
natural.
start drinking again, I sent him a message the other day. When I start drinking again, I'm coming for that beer. It looked good.
Yeah. His jalapeno cream ale is fucking unreal.
Wow. That sounds
Yeah,
good.
and I'm a natural light guy, right? That's I don't really care for the taste of beer if I'm gonna drink it, which I am. Natural Light, Coors Light, Miller Light. Say what you will. It's our show, so Hickman is really the only one that can comment right now. But his beer is phenomenal. He's actually submitted it to a couple of different like microbrew competitions, and has placed in a couple of those competitions. So he's doing something right. And I know Tom well enough that the attention and the time that he puts to his beer, he's going to end up putting that to his smoking too. Because if you're brewing beer, you might as well have some tasty eats to go with it.
That's right.
But he got I'm not sure if he got a barrel, bought a barrel, and then got the conversion kit or what he did, but he's starting to run a barrel smoker. And it looks, from what he's cooking so far, he's doing it right.
Good.
So,
and I'm just going to interject this real quick. I've said it in previous shows. I don't give a shit what smoker you're using. I do not care. Smoke fucking meat, man. Just do it. And don't put too much thought into it. Don't stress yourself over it, because it's not a stressful thing. It's supposed to be relaxing.
Yeah.
But just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, an ex, and whatever used to say all the time, just fucking do it. That's all you got to do. Just fucking do it. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Hey, on the barrel smoker, can you also use that or run that higher as a grill too?
I don't see why you couldn't.
I mean, it's all about that airflow. You just get more air flowing over your coals, run a little hotter.
Yep. I have not, actually, that's a hell of a point. I have not run mine wide open. As a matter of fact, I know it would.
Yeah.
Because I have two vents on the bottom and I have a stack on the top. The vents on the bottom, I generally leave one closed all the way, and the other one might be open a quarter of an inch, and I'm running 275, 300 with no problem. So I bet if I opened both of them up and took the lid off, fuck, Ben, now I got a goddamn grill on my fucking barrel just to see if I can do it. That's some shit.
Hey, the next episode that we do from the Double Tap, maybe we'll do a lunch episode.
We should
throw it on a grill on the barrel.
Yeah. Huh. Well, we got a guest coming up that wants to come here.
Yeah. Apparently he's gonna make some of his famous meats.
Jesus Christ. Nobody wants his mouth in their mouth.
Double Tap South.
The Double Tap South is exactly what that shit is.
Yeah,
no doubt. So then we're going to get into pellet smokers.
Yes.
Now look, people hate on pellet smokers. I've got one. And just so folks understand, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, the reverse flow that I just bought a few months ago is smoker number 20. Now, I'm not saying that I have 20 fucking smokers sitting in my yard, because, that's not necessarily the case. Jennifer would have a fit, but I do have 5 in my yard. And so I know a little bit about a little bit. I have a pellet smoker. I have a Pit Boss tailgater. I bought it when we were camping, because there's sometimes that you just want to throw a slab of meat on a smoker, drink all day, and not worry about that motherfucker.
Yeah, until your phone goes off and says, check your meat.
That's right. 100%. There are just times you need it. I use it as my grill. The downside to that is you have to wait a little bit for it to get up to temperature.
Right.
So, but in comparison to charcoal, it's really not that much difference. Time to wait, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, pellet. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a pellet smoker. When people ask me who are getting into smoking, I want to do this, I want to do that. What do you recommend? I recommend a pellet smoker.
Absolutely.
And there are so many brands out there. There are so many possibilities. You really need to put, if you're going to be serious about it, you really need to put your time and effort into it. I recommend Pit Boss. I recommend Pit Boss because I think it's the best bang for the buck. You can go Traeger, you can go Rectech, you can go any of them. I'm going to tell you right now, quality-wise, and you're going to pay for it, is Rectech. They are a heavy-duty built. Customer service is absolutely fantastic. Rob Price has 2. He's got their Bullseye, which is their, and so does Q, as their Bullseye, which will get to 700 and some freaking degrees for searing meat and doing all that kind of shit. And they've got their big smokers. Rob's had a couple issues. Price has had a couple of issues. He has called them, and they have bent over backwards for him to get him up and running again. Now, you pay for them. They are high dollar, but damn, they are something else when it comes to the quality, the thickness, the gauge of the metal, all that kind of shit. They're fantastic. So you have a wide range of expense that you can put in as much as you want or as little as you want. Convenience, flavor, all that is there. Now, my wife will tell you that when I use my pellet smoker, which I haven't done in quite a while, she can tell the difference between a pellet and my stick burners. My wife can tell the difference in my meat. So there is that. Now, my wife, when it comes to, she's a foodie. So when it comes to certain things, she has a palate. She can tell the difference. The majority of people who eat barbecue don't care. They go to barbecue restaurants, burning propane, and think it's the best shit they've ever put in their mouths because they don't know any better. So that is a great starter. It's a great jumping off point. Then you start learning barbecue. You start learning the science. Then you get into the Cadillacs of smokers, and that's the stick burner. They burn actual firewood, oak, hickory, pecan, walnut, cherry, all of that shit. Then the fruit woods, whole nother show just on wood. So,
big wood, hardwood,
big hardwood. So 2 types of stick burners. You have offsets, like I explained earlier. Firebox is here, smokestack. Fire goes from here or here out the smokestack, and it flows over the meat. Everything's good. Now, reverse flow. Reverse flow, the firebox and the smokestack are on the same side. The bottom of the smoker is covered with a steel grate, solid steel grate. The heat goes from the firebox under the steel plate and then out the smokestack. When it goes under the plate, it's even heat. It comes out through an opening on the opposite side of the firebox, and then the heat and the smoke go across the meat and then out the smokestack. The flavor, cook time, and all that with a reverse flow, to me, is great. It's a balance of even temperature from side to side. The flavor's great, all that. Now you head down to Texas and you happen to mention that you're running a reverse flow, they're going to run you out of Texas because they are an offset state. There is no question about it. And you want to stop a conversation dead. When we have Noah on, we are going to discuss what he did at the number 2 barbecue joint in the state of Texas. Buddy, let me tell you something. I'm not going to drop exactly what happened because we're going to wait for that episode. Yeah.
He's probably lucky he didn't get shot.
He's lucky he didn't get stabbed. It was you talk about a mood changer. Man, you're in the heart of freaking Texas. We're at the top 50. We're at the number 2 barbecue place in Texas, all of Texas, the number 2 place. And they're running these giant freaking offsets. And you bring up a reverse flow. Bless his little heart.
There's a phrase that comes to mind. And it's something that goes along the lines of know the room.
Know your audience, man.
Yeah.
Like, God damn, dude. We're literally standing in the middle of 5 giant 500-gallon, 1,000-gallon smokers. There's a 250 up in front at the front door. No, that's a 500 up at the front door. Dude. Yeah. Yeah. We run Langs. I run a Lang. He's bought a 1,000-gallon offset. But I run Langs. I would never have done that. Nope. Older, wiser, whatever. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So to summarize, your options when it comes to smokers are basically unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many varieties, so many fuels, so many cooking methods. You need to decide what you think you want to do. If you don't have an idea, go grab a pellet smoker. Now, I went from a char griller professional. I bought 2 of them, and I had to modify them to make them work. I have seller's remorse for 1 smoker that I've gotten rid of. 1 and 1 only. If you want to jump right into the stick burning, traditional barbecue kind of thing, Oklahoma fucking Joe. I'm telling you, I bought one they built for Cabela's, 800 and some square inches. It ran on, I'd fire it up with charcoal, start adding wood to it, and it produced some of the best barbecue I've done aside from cooking on one of my Langs. Fantastic. I bought my first trailer Lang and I sold it. I sold it to Adam Davis, who is the brewmaster and owner of Berlin Beer Company. He lives 2 houses away. And we talk about it monthly, about how much, and I'm not even joking. It is, and technically it wasn't my smoker. It was Jennifer's smoker. She bought it. So even Jennifer.
You didn't sell Jennifer's smoker, or did she sell it?
She sold it. It was hers to make that decision. And so, well, we've got this trailer now. We don't need it. Well, I tell you, when you have a giant smoker, and the trailer, the 84D that I have is a giant smoker, you just don't fire it up for a couple of briskets or a couple of pork butts.
Right.
And I miss that Oklahoma Joe. Man, it hurts me every time I think about it. It really does. It's hurting me right now.
Yeah.
Because if I want to run something, it hurts me so. It hurt me so much that the last smoker I bought was a 48-inch Lang. I paid $2,500 for it. I paid $200, or Jennifer paid $200 for that Oklahoma Joe on Marketplace. It cost me thousands to replace it. And every time I see Adam, hey man, he goes, I'm not selling it back. Fair enough, brother. Fair enough.
Just checking.
Yeah. As he said, if you ever want to use it, it's in the backyard. You know where it is. Da-da. So, bitch, you keep saying that. One of these days, you're going to wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to look outside, and I'll be sitting next to it, just hugging it with a fire going. Damn it. Seller's remorse, man. And that's been 2 years, 2.5.
I say he's
2.5 years.
You said he's what, 2 doors away?
He's 2 doors away. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You get like, you smell it when he fires it up. Like,
Well, that's the funny part. Yeah, he'll fire it up and he'll notice the wind blowing towards my house. I'll get a text message. You smell that? Smell that regret? Motherfucker. God damn. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. You know, he's going to have to come on the show.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Berlin Beer Company. Heard nothing but great things. I see they're doing, we were just in town the other day coming through, doing a lot of work, converting that building over. Going to be an awesome event or awesome place.
I'm hoping when this airs, he is within days of opening. The amount of thought, the amount of time and effort that man has put into the old Southern States building in Berlin is tremendous. That they're doing, the vision that they have is, I'm excited. I'm absolutely excited. Cannot say enough about the family, and I am so excited about the possibilities of what they're doing, and to have food inside that, and to have the street kitchen running the food section of that. I'm beyond ecstatic. The only thing better than that is it's within walking distance of the double tap in.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yep. Like I said, we just drove through the other day to pick up something from work in Berlin, and I get through Berlin maybe once, twice a month, and to see the progress that they have made, from the last time that I was there, and it's awesome to see. I work with a guy that he used to work with, Ian Spice, great guy. Fun fact: Ian's going to paramedic school. He's going to be a phenomenal paramedic.
Absolutely.
So super excited for him. But we've talked about it, and just what a great guy Adam is, and the prospects of what they have coming is super exciting. So,
and to give Ian credit, Ian is no slouch when it comes to brewing beer.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. Ian's no slouch, period.
Yeah. You're right. You're 100% right.
Yeah, great guy. He and I talked quite a bit when he was trying to figure out where he wanted to end up working. And I'm honored that he called me. I still don't know why, because he is much smarter than that. But, he came to Ocean City full time. We were lucky enough to get him on our shift. And the dude, he's killing it. Absolutely killing it. He is. Great guy. So, going back to the smokers and all that kind of stuff. I exclusively run the Pellet Grill, Camp Chef. I'm a fan of Camp Chef. There's been a couple of things that I've had to kind of take it apart and work on. I didn't do my due diligence in cleaning it, so I had her just absolutely covered in grease. Went to cook a steak and proceeded to light it on fire, like burned every ounce of grease in there off, and it pegged the temperature. So it went up to 599 I think is what the hottest it read at one point. I had fire blowing out the little where the grease drips out the bottom, the ugly black smoke just charging out of the chimney. It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So
I'm thinking, go ahead.
I know that we discussed in a previous episode that we're going to do a thing on maintenance, and we're going to get into that. However, I think we need to say it right now in case somebody goes out and decides they're going to get a pellet smoker. When you fire your pellet smoker up, fire it up with the lid open, because it becomes a backdraft simulator, a really nice one too. When you fire one up, you don't have the lid open. It will blow the fucking lid off. Yeah. And you do it once. You do it one fucking time. You won't do it again. But damn, it's pretty fucking impressive when you look at it. Smoke billowing out everywhere and all this shit. The next thing you go, boom. Oh, I know what that was.
Yeah. So,
hey, don't believe me, go on YouTube and
I believe
search that shit.
Seen it.
Oh yeah.
So the Camp Chef I have, super easy to work on. Was able to get a replacement thermometer. Was able to easily replace that. So it was nice. It's convenient. It's big enough to hold one brisket. You could do one turkey, 2 pork butts. I think I ran through this, 3 chickens, a whole shitload of wings. Like it's a decent size. I'm sorry, I don't know what size it is.
It's 3 chickens, 1 turkey, 1 brisket,
1 brisket. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's that size.
It's that size.
So it's an older model, so it doesn't have the Wi-Fi and all that kind of shit on it, the remote start, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
The thing that you mentioned before, if you're getting into it and you're not sure what you want or like how it's going to work and all that kind of stuff, I would not be smoking meats if I didn't have this Camp Chef, this pellet smoker. The one that I talked about earlier, the electric one where you drop the chips in, definitely not going to run that. It just seemed too inconsistent. It seemed like you had to give it a lot of attention. It wasn't cooking at what I thought it was a regular, like a decent timing. But the Camp Chef, as long as that hopper's full, even if it gets a little windy, like it's pretty well protected in the grill to keep that little fire going. And to keep smoking. So that's what I would run at some point when, the kids are older and I have more time to run a stick burner. I think that would be fun just to play around with it, run a barrel smoker. I think that'd be fun. But right now in my stage of life where I got a lot of shit going on and I don't have time to dedicate to watching the fire and doing all that kind of stuff, the pellet smoker is the way to go.
So a stick burner, and I might not have said this, a stick burner requires constant attention.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say constant attention, it needs more attention than a clingy bitch. You are touching it every fucking 20 minutes, if not sooner, depending on your wind conditions, atmospheric conditions, all that kind of shit. You are putting a stick of wood in it. You are checking the consistency of the meat because it's heat flow in a big chamber. You've got to check, see which ones are cooking faster and this and that. It's constant attention.
Yeah.
You don't have that with a pellet. And that's why I recommend pellets to anybody just starting out who wants to get going, because you don't want to have to babysit something. You want to be able to enjoy it. And then when you start getting into the actual craft of smoking meats, the science of it, you might want to go to a stick burner. Maybe. You might want to stick with your charcoal. You might want to stick with your pellet because you're producing that quality of Q that you want.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul there. You're doing it. And that's the whole purpose of doing this. You're doing it.
Yep. Absolutely. And the last thing I would add about the stick or the pellet grill is, again, it's a combination grill pellet smoker. You can use it to grill foods, hot dogs, burgers, whatever else you want to cook, chicken on there. You can do that. It just takes a little longer.
Yeah.
It takes longer to build that heat up. You open the cover and you go in to flip your burgers, flip your chicken, roll your dogs, whatever you're doing. You lose a lot of that heat. And again, you're waiting to build it back up. So something to consider. Would I change what I have? Probably not.
Nope.
Like it might be more convenient to have another grill, a dedicated grill that I know is going to run hotter for burgers and dogs and that kind of stuff. But the frequency in which we're cooking that, I can throw it on there, and I just started earlier and know it's going to take me a little longer.
Yep.
So
you're not going to sear a steak on a pellet grill.
No.
Will you cook a steak on it? Absolutely. Is it going to be good? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you just have to know what the limitations are, and that's the same with any of them. You just have to know what your limitations are, what you can do and can't do.
I was just talking to a buddy the other day at work who was looking to get into one, and I know he told me which one he bought, but I can't remember. And I told him, I said, something I might consider looking at is, and don't laugh me off the stage, is Sam's Club has a ginormous pellet smoker with an induction plate on the side for, let's say it's $600. Like that's a deal. It goes back to one, you get what you pay for. So what's the gauge of metal? You know, what if something goes wrong, am I gonna be able to find parts for it to replace it?
Correct.
If the thing goes complete to shit, am I gonna be able to call somebody to get a new one? You know, it doesn't. It's not that RecTech. It's not a Traeger that has the name that you're going to call somebody and they're going to make it right. It's Members Mark. You know, I've had a grill from Members Mark from Sam's Club that I put in the back of the truck that lived there year round. Little propane 2-burner gas grill.
Yep. Beach grill.
Oh my gosh, that thing was fantastic. That thing has seen more meat than. There's a lot of there's a lot of places I could go with that, but that's not going to end up for anybody. Yeah. That's not. Yeah. Yeah. So that's there are a lot of
do exactly where we were going with that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good we both stopped. So yeah, I think to wrap this up, there's a lot of options for smokers, whether you're starting with, you know, the little electric, the little charcoal, all the way to the stick burners. And it just depends on what you want to do. And, you know, what you want to spend. Like we said, when I was just talking about the Members Mark, you're going to get what you pay for.
That's right.
So if you're going to make an investment, make sure that it's something that you're comfortable with, and you're not going to have that buyer's remorse afterwards. You know, you do one cook and it goes to shit, and now you're stuck with it. Yep. So, yeah, that's it. That was a great brief synopsis. I loved it. Like I said, it kind of want to get
you make good decisions and get good Father's Day gifts.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Good luck to everybody. So yeah, that's it. Like we've talked about in our previous shows, we hope you made it to the end. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Wayward Soles, the Double Tap In, episode 9. What's your smoker? Yeah, if you have something, like we've said in all of our shows till now, waywardsoles88@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Like Mike mentioned in our last show, we're also on social media. You go on Facebook, you go on Instagram, Double Tap In, Wayward Soles Barbecue. Shoot us a message on there. It's also linked in each show. So if you can't reach out to us, Noah, oh wait, sorry, that was oddly specific. If you can't reach out to us, you're not looking hard, because we try to make it as easy as we can. There's also a lot of you.
I had to block him. He's blowing my shit up.
Not yet. Not yet. I think he knows better.
How you do it?
Yeah. He wants to come on the show, so he's trying to walk that fine line.
Yeah, I had a cake on my front porch the other day. I don't know what that was about, but
I wouldn't eat it.
I'm not going to eat it. Probably got his barbecue rub in it.
Yeah. King's barbecue. And then he had the balls to say Hickman's mediocre meats. What the shit?
Oh. Yeah. Double Tap South is all he is.
That's right. So friends, again, thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Got a little laugh, got a little education on this one. If you're trying to get into smoking, and you have some more questions, like I said, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help. And we'd love to see what you get going. Yeah. Thanks.
Just be prepared when you do it. It's an addiction. Be prepared.
Oh yeah. It's not going to go. It's not going to go bad. And 2, you're not going to stop.
That's right.
So, all right. Thanks, friends. We'll see you next time.